Everybody coming and see what this is all about. Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please, to establish quorum?
Mr. Fodor? Here. Mrs. Jennifer? Here. Mr. Kelly?
Present.
Mr. Coe?
Present.
Mrs. Palestrini? Absent. And Mr. Robinson?
Here. All right, please rise if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Good evening. Is there anyone signed up to speak tonight?
There is not.
All these people and no one wants to say anything. All right. First thing on our agenda tonight is a proclamation honoring the 2026 Pop Warner All-American Scholars of the Hampshire Youth Football and Cheer Association, also known as the Hampshire Junior Whippers. So if the athletes would like to come up here, then anybody that's in attendance in a jersey or family, you guys can come up in the center, and then I'll read this proclamation. Come on up.
Stand in the front. There are people in front.
And in line, don't look all happy about it. Who do you got in the Super Bowl?
What do you guys think?
Who do you get? So, okay, how about show of hands? How many good dads up there?
Yes.
All right, well, this isn't going very well. So,
Yeah.
it says here, parents feel free to move around and get photos, okay? Whereas the Hampshire Youth Football and Cheer Association, the Hampshire Junior Whippers, is a community-based or youth-based organization serving families within the village and surrounding municipalities dedicated to developing young athletes through football and cheer while emphasizing character, teamwork, and personal responsibility. And whereas Pop Warner Little Scholars Incorporated is a national youth sports organization that places a strong emphasis on academic achievement, recognizing student athletes who demonstrate excellence in the classroom in addition to participation in athletics. And whereas to qualify as a Pop Warner All-American Scholar, student athletes must meet strict academic criteria by Pop Warner National, including maintaining a 94.0 grade point average or equivalent, verified by official school records, while actively participating in Pop Warner football, football or cheer program. And whereas during the 2025 academic year, 39 athletes from the Hampshire Youth Football and Cheer Association earned designation as Pop Warner All-American Scholars, representing an exceptional commitment to balancing academic excellence with athletic participation. And whereas during the 2025 academic year, 4 middle school athletes from the Hampshire Youth and Football Cheer Association achieved a perfect 100 grade point average or equivalent. Robert, I apologize if I butcher your last names, okay? Robert Kozenrek, Andrew Bray, Caleb Fawcett, and Owen Amigasi. Sorry, you can laugh at me later. And whereas during the 2025 academic school year, 7 middle school students, athletes from the Hampshire Youth and Football Cheer Association achieved a near perfect 90.0 to 99.9 grade point average or equivalent. Nathan Balachek, Keelan Schwartz, Tyler Guess, Reed Major, Roberto Hightower, Dylan Foster, and Jackson Riopel. And whereas this achievement exemplifies the values of discipline, perseverance, and prioritizing education, principles that not only strengthen the individual student athletes, but the broader community as a whole. And recognizing these young scholars reinforces the importance of placing academics before athletics and encourages all youth within the community to strive for both excellence and education and extracurricular pursuits. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this resolution will be officially entered into the village records, and that copies be presented to the Hampshire Youth and Football Cheer Association and honored student athletes as a symbol of the community's recognition and support, adopted this 5th day of February 2026. I just want to say thank you to you guys, right? It's not hard balancing everything, right? Being a good student, being a good athlete, right? And most importantly, keeping your parents happy, right? You guys seem to be killing it, and you guys are awesome. So thanks so much for giving up a few minutes of your time today to come listen to me ramble through this, but it's really, really awesome that you guys work so hard, and you guys are a bunch of great kids. So I have this, Mr. Tiffany, I saw him somewhere, right there, perfect. This is for you.
Okay.
Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I mean, well, our speech writer's not here right now, so no, these kids, it's just impressive what they've done. I've always been a person that's not been very good with my words, more showing people how to do stuff with actions. And what these kids have done exemplifies that. When other kids are playing on their phones at school and messing around, these kids are in the books studying. After practice, when you go home, you have time to do, you're not going to hop on the computer. Not going to hop on the games. You get your work done, and that's important because that's going to carry you on to the future. And I am proud of all of you for this too. So, that's all I got to say.
Awesome. Yeah. You guys, why don't the board come around this side?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, no.
You see that first, this one?
Yeah.
You guys just.
Yeah.
Right there, you get that.
It was, yeah, whatever you guys want to do, let's all be in this. Yeah, take it, oh, yeah, there.
We'll come this way.
Jimmy
Campbell.
Do you want to be in this picture too?
Yeah.
All right.
We would say.
Board members needed this.
Cool logo.
I love it.
Get in front of us. Can we get that? Can we get just the kids and board number?
There, yeah. There you go.
So your butts are facing.
Thank you. Good one, William.
Yeah, there you go. You guys, take a knee.
Take a knee.
Yeah, you gotta take a knee.
Oh, boy, you gotta squat a little still.
Hey, tall boy. Hey, what?
8832 goes.
Hey, which one of you guys?
We can't see this.
Hey, have you guys talked about the ammo?
Breakdown.
Get down, guys.
I think you're gonna tackle somebody.
There you go.
Don't tell Miles that. He might tackle last night.
Oh, one more, boys. This one's going in the newspaper.
All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. Thank
I'll have her scan the state of first.
I want to get a picture.
I did, I went like this.
Oh, it's nice.
I got one this time. Bye, Ralph, you leaving?
Let me know. Thanks. Hey, you guys. Anyhow. Thank you.
That's board member Jenga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for the indulgence. Next, we have a presentation, an update on the proposed Hidden Creek subdivision. So at this time, we have some visitors. I'm sorry, I don't remember names or know names, but come on up and introduce yourself for the minutes, and we'll get to talk.
Thank you. Good evening, board and everyone. My name is Rich Couillard. I represent the ownership of what we're going to be presenting the property. We did come before you a few months ago and ask for you to review as a concept plan, the concept plan we had for the 157 acre property that we call Hidden Creek subdivision on the south side of Oak Note Drive. And a couple things have happened since then. One, we took the comments that we had heard back and we worked on those. And in addition to that, a property contiguous to the south and then going over to Getzelman Road became available and we purchased that. The ownership purchased it. So now we have the 147 acres and the 74 acres. And it allowed us to do some significant improvements to the plan. So because of these changes and what's happened, we wanted to come back to you, bring you up to date, show you what we have now, get any comments, hopefully any positive response you have, because we've made the deposits with the village and we're getting ready to start our engineering. We've done a lot of the preliminary studies and things that we need. So with that, without much further ado, I do want to introduce two people. One, Matt Bondra, who was here last time also. He's one of the officers of the owner, Bluff City. And then Rich Olson from Gary Weber Associates, who's our planner and who worked on the plan. I think he's best able to kind of walk you through the plan a little bit, tell you what changes are from what we presented last time to this time and what the advantages are. So we'll all be here to answer questions if you have, but with that, I'm going to ask Rich to kind of briefly walk you through it.
Thank you.
And by the way, I mean, feel free to interrupt it.
He's familiar with how we ask. To do that anyway.
Get rolling and, forget please, because that's really what we're looking for is the input for it.
Good to see you again. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Tim Rich Olson, Gary Weber Associates, Lexi Flex Land Planners. We prepared a concept plan. We've been for you several times now and appreciate your time and all the efforts that you guys give to us. What I thought I'd do is just keep it real brief. Like Rich said, we've been to you a few times and we've come quite a long way from where we started from. All the way from, you kind of gave us a side-eye look to the last time we were here, we got lots of good positive feedback. You guys generally liked the plan, you liked the direction we were going in, and you had a couple concerns that you want us to address and look at, and obviously we want to take that to heart and then, see if we can improve the plan from where we were in the past. And as Rich mentioned, we definitely have done a couple of those things. For sure. One of the things, since we were able to add the property to the south, one of the concerns that you guys had was access to the property. Previously, there were two accesses from Oak Knoll Drive, and they were close together. There was a little bit of, there might have been a little bit of, hardship to try and get that to work. So we were able to remove that access primarily because now we have an access to the south off of Getzelman, if you're looking at the plan. And this gets us two main accesses from both ends of the site, which really helps open the site. If you remember previously, we had to cross the creek. And then once you cross the creek, pretty much create a big cul-de-sac. So the only way to get back out was to cross the creek again, which is not insurmountable. There's ways we can do it, but this really helps us open it up so that we have a nice dedicated access to the south. One of the other things that you guys mentioned was in the previous plans, we had townhomes up front off of Oak Knoll, and that was a concern, was something that you guys had mentioned in the plan. So because we have both entrances, one off of Getzelman and one now on Oak Knoll, we can then have the product mix the way we have it oriented now. So we still have single family, predominantly single family on the north, which is a mix of the 70 and 80 foot lots that you guys looked at at the time. And then to the south, we've got a mix of now not only traditional townhomes, but duplexes, which are two unit dwelling units. And if you're looking at the plan, I'm really excited about the plan because the plan before was great. It was good. Had some challenges to it, but this one, couple of the highlights, there's a lot going on in this plan. We have 5 individual parks scattered throughout the entire site. If you're going from the north to south, there's one before you cross the creek. As you cross the creek and go south on the road pattern network, that large detention basin in the center, you get the park base there. As you go to the far east, there's another park there. You can kind of see them on the corners. And as you go south, all the way down to the reflex area, there's a park to far southeast. And then there's another park across the creek that we have to cross again on that side. These are all connected by pathway systems now. And if you look at the plan, you'll see that pathway system goes all the way from north to south and then connects east to west with very little interaction with traffic, which I think is really cool about this one. These are all connected, all the parts are connected. The trail system is about 1.5 miles now of trail system built into this plan. And the other thing is the way we oriented the water detention systems is we create a lot of really nice space so people don't back up to each other, they back up to open space. So they're connected with the trail systems, they're connected with open space, they have a lot of premium lots that back up to premium spaces. And then since we added the duplex product, that serves another market as well. That opens the buyer up to having both a single family home, living in a traditional townhome, as well as a duplex. So there's lots of product mixes here. All with incorporating about 40%, it's right on 40% open space throughout the project. So there's lots of premium open space to interact with the plan. So we're super excited about this. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but Rich will remind me if I did. But I think it probably would be good just to open it up and have questions because there's a lot here to talk about. There's a lot to go through, there's a lot to look at. But we're here really to see if you guys have some good feedback for us.
So, I just, before the board gets the opportunity to ask any questions, I just want to say, for those in the audience or new, so there's a state mandated process, right, where a developer or personal property owner can present a plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission and go through that legal process to annex and zone and that kind of thing. What we've done here is ask the developer property owner to come in a few times ahead of time to get some of that feedback to see if it's worth pursuing that legal mandated process. So for those watching at home or will be watching later, this is a proposal on property that doesn't exist within the village at the current time. And should the board give positive feedback or feedback of any kind, it will be up to the property owner to then apply for the legal process of planning and zoning and all of that stuff. And then it would require approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission. And then ultimately it would come back here for a village board decision on zoning and annexation and plat and all that kind of stuff. So whatever is discussed tonight is preliminary. It doesn't give any indication of approval for those watching at home. It's just a matter of we just ask that they present it ahead of time so the board and the community knows what's going on. With that, any board members have any questions?
Do you have any visuals that you can throw us on the screen? The biggest question is where is the piece that was added? And my understanding is it's the piece to the south.
So I can answer one quick thing. It's in the agenda supplement. We had Mo add the second part of it later after the initial agenda was added.
Okay.
Sure.
This will help.
We could show you very quickly. This was the lines
of the old plan.
So this is the farmer's ed over the other.
Yeah.
Here.
And one other thing I would mention, one of the comments that have been raised before was on the north part of the property bordering Fulton Drive. One time it was all residential there, then we had a partially residential, and the village said it was more like to see commercial, some government use or something like that involved. And we have had preliminary discussions with the Fire Protection District about them, and we've agreed to reserve that parcel for 5 years up to it for a future fire station and so forth. So we're still having those discussions, but that is the plan right now, is to have that reserved for a future fire station for the area.
Chief Schmidt is in attendance. If you have anything you'd like to add or questions during this process, you're welcome to ask. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, just I guess a couple. One, Chief, this future fire station, is that to replace the current one on Washington, or is this the idea of the fire department going for a third station?
That would be to replace the station on Washington.
It's to replace it.
It's 63 years old. It's had many lives and we've outgrown it. And we're looking at increasing staffing this summer and to increase staffing to have a space for someone to sleep at night. We're having it take an office and convert it into a bunk area, putting the office out in the other area. And we're just in the middle of a $30,000 sewer repair project. So it's served very well, but as we continue to grow, and then in the future with North, we'd be looking at a third station as well. But this would be a replacement for station.
But any third would be north.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And this entrance here will line up with, with the town main street.
Yeah. One question I have for you on the new area with all the duplexes. So I want to make sure I'm reading this map correctly. Duplexes 1, 3, 4, and 6 through 10 look like they're partially or fully within the floodplain. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, so, that's an eagle. You're looking at the plan. So this area has been studied. We got the engineers involved, to look at this piece of property. And they have looked at how we can utilize this space. And they came back with how to work, with the given conditions to make sure that would be acceptable and that floodplain would be redistributed. It's not, you're not getting rid of it. You can't. It's just how you work with it to make sure that the people would not be in a floodplain. And that can be modified as the plan gets, from the engineering standpoint, that would be modified as you would.
So
So those
would
people
you
would
have
not be in.
would you have to work with I don't know what agency determines floodplains, but to have it reevaluated that it's no longer a floodplain?
Yes.
You have to have a map amendment, it's called, but there's a study that we have to do to demonstrate to the agency that the property is raised to this, significant level above the floodplain that is permitted for construction of homes. So no homes would be in the floodplain when it was finally built. The floodplain would be revised.
Gotcha. Okay. And
So it might mean us creating other floodplain through high and dry property as Rich said, we can't eliminate floodplain. We can adjust it, we can, compensate, but, and in fact, usually we have to create additional floodplain if we want to move some floodplain.
Yeah, once it's studied and once it's evaluated, a lot of times these lines that you see on here are via maps that are, not quite as accurate as they can be, but once the engineering gets involved, they do it by elevation, they work with things, it's all worked through so there's no issues.
speaking of the floodplain, another question I had is in looking at the original, and thank you for bringing the previous one, in looking at the two, the detention areas significantly grow that are marked as water areas. And I know it's listed in the memo and elsewhere as detention slash park slash open space. But like, if you look at the detention spaces, the one on the top left goes from 4 acres to 6 acres. One goes from 1.3 to 1.8 to 2.3, from 3.3 down to 3, which is good. But then you have this middle one that was at 3.4 is now 11.9. There's a new detention area where there
What
wasn't
happened
before.
is that, we were making, and planners sometimes make optimistic estimates when they're drafting.
You're throwing me under the bus.
I'm not saying that concept plans are plans like made in heaven, but, what happened is the engineers did a study of the stormwater, the drainage, and everything else, and reviewed, your village follows the county rules and the stormwater rules in addition to its own. So it had to be expanded to properly compensate for the stormwater.
Okay, and I only ask, I appreciate that. I only ask because every year we talk about maintenance of ponds and detention areas, and some areas HOAs are responsible. We have to do backup SSAs, and I'm just looking at how much there is here, and that's that's gonna be pretty expensive every year to maintain, so I'm just, that's what
It
I'm.
would be naturally planted, so it would be the HOA, I'm sure, and it's standard now for the SSA, would be in place of backup SSA, so, but, the trade-off is that this subdivision is getting 94 acres of open space with 1.5 miles of trails through it all, and all of it's connected by a trail system. It's almost a lake.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, I appreciate that it's listed it all together. I think the trails going through, just me personally, I think that's really cool that they all connect. I see there's 5 parks listed. They're all about the same size, about I don't know, about an acre or give or take. It's just, well, yes, that is technically open space. It is listed as detention space, and we have detention space where when it's not raining, people will use it. And I understand that, but I'm just thinking through, even though it's naturally planted, we have areas naturally planted that we're paying thousands of dollars every year to make sure we maintain.
And they will have to do the same, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have a question for you guys about the new parcel that's been added to this. Am I correct in seeing that there is a very small park near building 13, just above it?
Yes.
Okay, and then just to the right of that,
Yes.
near that intersection, is there another one missing?
Those are the 2 parks on the far south side, yeah.
Okay, and so this will be a much higher density population area than the other areas with the single family homes. And those parks are much larger. Is there any concern for, the people who would be using those parks?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things that, and let me answer what is, so, to the south there, just all along that, it's almost like a lake, the 9.5 acre home retention. To the north of that would be both the trail system that wraps all the way around that. So that's a sort of an extension of that open space and usable park. And yeah, there's a lot, that space is going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of space there for hiking.
Respectfully, totally understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at recreational space
Gotcha.
for children,
Yep.
especially because when I walk through our neighborhoods, because I walk daily, the number of children that are in our townhomes, that, yes, they've got a backyard to play with, but then you've got to contend with neighbors who don't like it when you throw the football, or, you're being too loud or whatever. And I guess my concern is those parks look very small for that high density of the population. And when the kids are younger, their parents might not allow them to go through those trails into the single family home parks,
We can certainly address that and adjust it. That's great. It's early enough now, we can make those kind of changes. And just in comments, this whole northern part here is going to be common area owned by, we could have called it a park.
Right.
It's
It is a large area.
30 acres there with stuff through it. So I'm sure we can create another park in it. One of the things that did happen, even though these are townhomes and duplexes, we actually lowered the density of the project because there's so much open space there. It's 2.36 units now as opposed to before. But I know your point is it's not close to the park.
Well, it's just
And
that the density just got shifted when
Yeah.
you add those, and I'm glad that they are here because we have been talking for years about products that meet the needs of people who may not have the
Well, and
income to
the
buy a
you see the duplexes all along there, they're likely to be ranch duplexes. And so now would be a product for people who don't have, some of us have a little more trouble with the stairs than other people do.
I understand that. Some people just don't like them. And that's, I love the variety that you have. My concern is just that the parks may be a little small for that.
We will address that.
And I'm speaking as a parent of, young adults, so that I don't have to worry about parks for my kids. It's just that I also don't want my neighbor's kids going into my window. I want them to have a safe park where they can go and play and, be over.
To your point, trustee Fodor, and to what you were saying, that green space is huge,
It is.
right?
Yeah.
And I know you obviously have been working with the fire department for the space up front. Have you met with the park district to see if they would potentially look at that for park property or have uses?
We have not. That's something we will do. You can, but we very recently acquired this.
Totally get it. I guess that would be less of a question, more of a suggestion, is it would be good to talk to the.
You can reach out to them, they won't take a park that small.
Well, that's not that small though.
An acre?
No. I'm talking about the 30 acres or whatever it is around the lake area.
I don't know. I really,
Some of it in the northwest corner is all high and dry, and
Yeah.
so it's something we'll have to, of the new section.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a piece that's isolated up there that might be, these are a good area for that.
Maybe good to partner with them to see if they could help
It
with
could be.
the utilization of that space, and then to what Trustee Fodor was saying, especially in the higher density areas. More.
I really like this. This looks really good. It's an excellent addition. I love the way that it's laid out. My only concern was they look like they might have a pagoda, and that's it. Kind of, base for that.
It's just especially, unfortunately, this is kind of so hard, because it's so small.
Yeah.
Those spaces are actually a little bit, they would definitely be planned for appropriately for the people that are gonna live there, and usually you're gonna have more than just a little seated area for that section. even though typically the children age is gonna be a little lower in this section, they're still gonna be children. And they're gonna need somewhere to go,
Maybe even grandchildren or something.
On that same end, I have a question. We had mentioned about type of duplexes. That was one of the things that we talked about, I think, in one of the first initial conversations is, we seem to have more of a variety now of people's first homes. But we don't have much variety now for people's last. And so we have to have a lot of people moving out of this community that ultimately may have lived here their entire life, but there's nowhere for them to go. So it made me happy to hear that those are most likely going to be ranches in that regard. So my question is that how do we express the need for that kind of housing option at this level? Ultimately, it's your property. You're going to do what you're going to do with it. It's going to be marketed how it's going to be marketed.
I think you just did.
Okay.
Yeah, you just did. And the other thing, I can tell you, the builders that I know that look at in this particular case, they're gonna look at the fact that you've got traditional townhomes, which are traditional living backyard, 2-story. And the duplexes almost always are probably gonna be, at a minimum, one of the two will be mostly 50% at least will be a ranch of the duplexes. They have a 2-story and they have a ranch usually. And they might, if the market analysis comes out, it's all market analysis, I can't guarantee, but they'll look at the demographics, they'll look at the market, and they'll say, okay, well, we need to have this many of the ranch style to make it work. And usually it's at least half.
Just kind of getting into the weeds a little bit with the plan. 2 of the type of products that we're designing and looking for are, really, I won't call them a step up, but they are the nature of the plan. For instance, the townhomes, as Rich has pointed out, they are unloaded townhomes, not the courtyard style that have, a 3-foot balcony that is your open space for you to use. These will have patios and things in the back, and they're on significant property behind them, so they'll actually have a yard. And then the duplexes, if you look at them, most of the duplexes are all on open space. They're going to be looking out on quite a few acres and ponds and water, and they're really going to be nice.
There's only 10 of the buildings that are open space.
So they're both of those are going to be a really nice product that I think there's going to be a lot of interest in.
Any other comments or concerns from the board?
I think last time when we were discussing the lot size. And we have a lot of homes up on the northern end of town with small lot sizes, and we were hoping to get larger lot sizes here. And I'm looking at the numbers from previous to now. And it looks like the larger lot size, the 80 by 125, actually went down. You lost 8 homes in there.
Um, and we will look at this, but as I'm reading it, the other one has 71 80-foot lots. The new plan has 71 80-foot lots, so it's exactly the same.
Oh, in the agenda supplement, it says original had 79 and the revised
okay.
says 71.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the plan, and maybe there might be a typo somewhere, but.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm looking at the plan that we have, which is,
Okay.
and if we need to up that.
Yeah, the plan says 79 and then 71.
And then the 70-foot lots, there were 154 units.
Yeah, I mean, that's correct. You're looking at two of the new plans.
And that one.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at a newer version.
Nice try, though. I appreciate the effort.
Wow, so since somebody planned this.
I mean, we certainly can make adjustments from that. I mean, one thing I would say with the zoning is, see if I can find it, the minimum lot size, even on them, on the 75 homes, was like 8,000, 125 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and the others are 10,000 square feet. So considering all the open space that they're on, the actual livable space and what they're looking at and what's around them, obviously usually the reason for a large lot size is to not have an overly dense project. And we're far from that with 40% of the property open. So while it's true, that we have some of those smaller lots, when you look at what usable property an owner really has, I think that we're exceeding what would be a product, or at least making a very highly desirable product for the municipality. So
I agree with what you're saying. But unfortunately, we have a lot of smaller lots within the community. And so it's a harder lift for us when we talk about lack of terminology, cookie cutter houses on the cookie cutter lots. And it's a harder sell for us, which is why we were so hard on the setbacks in between the yards and the minimum lot width and that kind of stuff. That's why this always comes up. I don't disagree with what the logic is behind having all the open space and the type of product. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
When you look at it on paper and you look at it as in relation to, we lost eight of the widest ones they could be, that kind of fits into what's already on the books. And so, you've done a great job at listening to what we had to say, which is make this subdivision different. Make this subdivision a different type of experience for the home buyer. Make it something different that's not already on the books, right? And so that's where this conversation is.
I'd like to make one more shot or pitch about this, what it is. I'm sure you've heard this before probably, but the lots are not smaller, or 70-foot lots, they're deeper, but they're more narrow, they're 70 and not 80, but they're not smaller lots in that way. And the reason that you want a 70-foot as opposed to the 80 feet, it's all about the cost, because the streets, the sewer, the water, the street lights, the water mains, everything is by foot. And so when you add another 12 feet, 12% to the frontage, you've added 12% to all the infrastructure costs. And now you've raised the price of the house with no real additional benefit. Because people aren't buying it, whether it's 70 feet or 80 feet. They don't care right now. They're buying it for the house, the open space, the amenities, the municipality that they're in, the school system, all the other things. It's not the 70 versus 80, but you've probably heard that before.
1,000 times. Not as eloquent as you.
I like it. I like the plan. Yeah.
And I counted 95 lots with no open space, which was not the case before, but I mean, that's not the new lot. That's just the interior blocks. And I just hope that, if this goes forward, that those people really like their neighbors. Because they're kind of close.
We will.
Yeah.
In recent years, we've built several subdivisions that the lots are 60 and 65 feet and big homes. And you could go talk to the people that live there. They love the subdivision. They love where they're at. So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but Okay.
Sorry, I have one more. And just because it's been a topic in many of the developments we talk about, so I'd love to hear your perspective on this. In the new area where you have all of the duplexes and the townhomes, one of the things some of our neighborhoods suffer from today in those dense areas is the space. In the winter, you've got cars that have to be on the road, or they're trying to figure out where to put things because they don't have basements, single car garages. Cars end up everywhere. It makes it difficult for trash pickup. Are you seeing these as 2-car garages? Do you see them as having basements?
Yeah.
What kind of, if we were to be standing on that road looking at it, even though on the map it looks more dense, what type of amenities are these homeowners going to have to
Well, first of
ensure
all,
we don't
2-car
run into that?
garages. Yeah, so you're not.
So they're gonna have 2-car
They
garages.
would all, every single one would have driveway space for 2, as well as an inside 2.
The townhomes and the duplexes?
Yes, both the townhomes and the duplex.
Okay.
And what they're gonna do, whoever the developer is, one I think might, well, there's a few that out there that are looking at this. They're gonna look at the duplexes and they're gonna evaluate, how do I say this simply? You have to have price differential between product types. And when you add the basement to the duplex, is that product gonna be too close to the single family price and too far away from the townhome price, the traditional? So they're gonna look at that. And if they can do it, they will absolutely offer basements if they can, but it sort of becomes you can't have a product type next close enough to another product type, because then they would just go buy the single family house.
No, understood. And I think just saying that every property would have a 2-car garage and a 2-car garage worth of space in front of the garage is a big difference than some of our other neighborhoods.
We have a subdivision where it's a single car driveway, single car garage, multiple people living there, obviously, no basement.
You know, every single one would have, because the setbacks that we're proposing are in line with what you guys have proposed before, 25 feet, so you can fit a big car. That's to the right of way, so that's not even to the street. And then you have 2 cars outside and 2 cars inside.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And there's actually on-street parking in this.
Who else? I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we're excited.
And thank you for hearing our concerns, hearing our concerns from you.
Thank you for taking your time to listen. We appreciate it. All right.
Right, and you don't have to stick around for the rest of it if you don't want to.
I'd really love to.
Next time, bring your.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have the meeting minutes, January 5th. At this time. Any questions and or comments about said meeting minutes? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes as presented. Any questions and or comments? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor? Aye. Motion passes 5.
Next, we have the accounts payable, the small amount of $448,130.51 to be paid on or before February 5th, 2026. We reviewed it.
That Dodge Ram, is that the bucket truck?
So we don't have to tow the other one around.
Is that a bad thing to have to do? Tow the truck with the truck so you could use the bucket line?
The good news is if we ever needed a stationary lift, we got one.
Although that has issues too.
Might not come to that back down.
Or it's
I need the fire department to come get them out.
It's a one way, right?
I'm telling you, that was the funniest thing. Okay, air quotes, right? When they're trying to take the star off the Christmas tree and they go to move the truck and they can't get it to shift in gear. I was like, well, it's a good thing we just bought the new one.
Question on page 9.
Page 9.
The snowplow uplift, does that mean we have a new snowplow?
So the chassis was delivered in May, and this is the upfit for it. So yes, we will have a new one on the road.
I got pictures of it. Apparently I have a friend that works at the outfitter. I didn't know that I had a friend that works at the outfitter, but it showed me nothing on the back of it with an H on the side of it. It looked like a plow truck should.
Naming it?
I don't know, but we could name it, or we could let the community name it.
I'm just saying.
That was your thing. So when we get it, you can start that process again.
Let's do it. Okay.
We only ever named one of them. The community's named all the rest of them.
Nice. When is expected delivery
It's here,
of
actually.
the completed?
Yes.
So when does it go into service? Next time it snows?
Somebody's probably driving it around, actually, right? That's probably it. Nice.
So then we'll talk with our webmaster / assistant director / community development guy about getting a contest together for naming it.
All right.
Any other questions about accounts payable? I'll entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable.
So moved.
Second. Question, comments? You want to fight it out? Nope. Don't. Ms. Clerk, call roll, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Cole? Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Horvath?
Aye.
Mayor Stern? Aye. Most of it.
Okay, next is my favorite. We're gonna have a public hearing for an annexation agreement. So I would like to entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Okay, we're to the public hearing. This is for an annexation agreement for 44W West 452 US Route 20 for Service Construction with a K. Any questions?
I will review the parameters of the annexation agreement when we get to the new business items, and they're all kind of grouped together.
So do we have any concerns about?
We don't have any comments. We're here from Hampshire Land. If anybody has any questions as we go on, well, it doesn't look like we have anybody here.
So we'll, if you're willing to stick around for the new business item, then we'll entertain questions at a time. But we don't have any comments for the public hearing, so I guess I will entertain a motion to close said public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Mandatory process. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'm gonna hit this gavel. We're gonna be back in open session just like that. Okay. Next, we have new business. So we have the police pension municipal compliance report. Ms. Lyons or Ms. Seehausen, you want to walk us through this?
Ms. Lyons?
Just briefly, this demonstrates the condition of the police pension fund. The fund trustees changed some of their expectations with respect to the interest being received on the funds now that the funds have been invested in the downstate Illinois combined pension fund. And so therefore, the contribution that is recommended by the actuary has gone down from 658,000 and change down to 505 and change. And these numbers will be used in preparing the budget for 26.2, so we'll call it.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the police pension municipal compliance report. So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fuller?
Aye.
Mr. Jennifer?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next, we have the 2025 annual financial audit. I'm assuming this is Mrs. Lyons again?
I just want to introduce you to Monica Adamski. She's online, down in the corner there. And she will be presenting our audit information on behalf of Lauterbach and Eamon, our auditors.
Yes, request that we pull the door a little bit.
Whoever's out there to be quiet.
I just, I'm having trouble distinguishing voices.
We're going to close the door and we're struggling.
Beat it.
Don't mind us. Please continue. Thank you for being here this evening.
Yeah, thanks for letting me present remotely. I'm kind of upset that everybody left. I mean, the audit's the most important part, right? I mean, come on. I saw those people at first. I got really nervous that they're all going to listen to my spiel, but okay, I'm okay now. So as Lori mentioned, my name is Monica Dansky. I'm the principal on your engagement. I have been for a couple years now. So wanted to give a special thanks to Lori and her team. An audit process does require a great deal of additional time and burden placed on everybody outside of the normal job function. So we did receive all of our requests in a timely manner, and I know we have a lot of questions. So again, very grateful for them to help to get this audit completed as of 4/30/2025. So I'm just going to briefly go through the audit report itself. On page 4 is the independent auditor's report. That's with the Lauterbach and Amen letterhead. Ultimately, this letter states that management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements. And then it's our responsibility as your auditors to generate an opinion. So the village did receive an unmodified opinion this year. Congratulations on that. That is the cleanest form of opinion and highest level of assurance that we can issue. That means that the financial statements are free of material misstatement and there's sound internal controls over financial reporting. On pages 7 through 18 is the management discussion and analysis. I always like to point this part out. It's a great narrative summary of the fiscal year's financial highlights. We do understand that financial statements can be quite difficult to read, so this section does break things out into charts and graphs. So we highly encourage the board to read this at their leisure. Even is shown on page 8, there's financial highlights, some bullet points. So again, it's just a lot easier to read. On page 29 through 30 are your fund level income statements for the governmental fund. So ultimately, this is what it's budgeted for on an annual basis. About midway through the page, you'll see a line that says excess or deficiency of revenues over under expenditure. So that is ultimately your operating income for the fiscal year, with a net change in fund balance towards the bottom and your ending fund balance. So you'll see general fund had an ending fund balance of about 2.6 million. That is about a $788,000 decrease from the prior year, but that's mainly due to increased investment in capital outlay this fiscal year. So you'll see that in a different schedule. Your capital assets will significantly increase this year, so that you would expect to see this decrease. And then going to the right, you'll see that for all your different funds, transportation, public use, capital improvement, all have a healthy fund balance, positive fund balance at year end. And then on page 35, you'll see the same information for your business type funds. So that's your water, sewer, and your garbage funds. Again, operating income for the fiscal year, you'll see that about midway down, 136 rounding to water, sewer, and 47,000 for garbage. Again, ending fund balance about 50 million for water, sewer, and 138 for garbage. Pension trust information you'll find on 38. Ending fund balance was about 5.3 million. That's an $834,000 increase from the prior year. And then following this is the notes to the financial statements. I'm not going to go over those, but you will find capital asset information, long-term debt information there as well. On page 81, you'll see IMRF information. Oh, definitely not page 81. Hold on one second as I scroll. Sorry about that. But IMRF is about 107% funded. Pension is 71.5. And then starting on page 87 is where you'll find your budget to actual information, what the village budgets for on an annual basis. Any questions on the financials itself?
Do you have any? Does the board? Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your work. And thank you for your kind words about what we're doing here.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to work with you guys.
With that, I will entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 annual audit, unless there's questions or comments from the board. No? I'll entertain a motion to approve the audit.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor? Aye. Ms. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Poe.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, let's talk about some doors with H&H Builders for about $29,000. Who wants to lead us in this great discussion?
I think Lori did that done, correct?
I did do the agenda supplement. If you have any questions, these are essentially new man doors that are grouted in, if you will. So they're fancy metal doors that will be permanently adhered to the buildings.
Where are they going? What building?
So 2 are in the thickener building at the wastewater treatment
Oh.
plant, and the 3rd is at the booster pump station, which is right in the corner. What would that be? Southwest corner of Thames Farm.
Do you know if the doors are standard size?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. I hope so, because when the door rots, they can replace the door without replacing the whole jam.
On page 3 of the agenda supplement, it was specifics.
Okay.
Yes, I've had page 3 now.
2 by 28. That's a glass. That's glass.
Furnish and install 18 gauge column frame. No, I lied.
That's all right.
I was mistaken.
We will hold it against
I'm
you.
hoping that the subsequent pages would. They do not. Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
I have one.
Yes.
On page 1, where we're talking about where the funds are coming from,
Yes.
there's the statement that there were 2 projects that didn't require as much money as originally planned, the UV project and then the clarifier splitter box. The UV project would have been 2 budget years ago, right? FY25. We're in FY26, so it would have been last year's budget, not this year's.
It was in FY25, but we did allocate $150,000 in FY26 because we weren't sure that the project was going to be completed by April 30th. And it was completed by April 30th, so the 150 is unused in the FY26 budget.
Wouldn't that 150 have just been spent in FY25?
It turned out it was, but we had put $150,000 in the budget for 26.
Right.
Because we weren't sure at the time the budget was prepared and approved that the project would be completed by April 30th.
Right. Sorry, I'm just thinking about cash flow in FY24 when the project happened, or FY25 when the project happened, we would have budgeted for the whole thing. And then in the FY26 budget, in case it wasn't done, we were saying unspent money would carry over. Right? Because if it wasn't done in the previous year.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. However, it has to be rebudgeted or otherwise you
Understood.
Yes, okay.
But when I think about it in a essence of a bank account, we have $100 bill that I think I'm going to spend this fiscal year. But then I don't know if it's going to be done. So in the next year's budget, I say I'm going to take $50 of that and just budget that it may come out this next year. The total out of the bank account is still $100. We just spent it in the year when we thought we were going to. So it's not like we really saved $50. We just spent it a previous year's budget.
That's 100% correct. However, we did have a change order, and so the project wasn't as expensive as it was in FY25. So we do have some money in the bank still.
Okay. Yeah, I was working through it that it's not like all of a sudden we had 130,000 of new money that we didn't think we'd
Yeah,
have.
the only measure, we really don't look at cash as much as we look at, I mean, obviously you have to have the cash in order to pay for the project, but we're measuring that against the budget.
Right. Okay.
And then the splitter box is not going to materialize this year at all, so.
Oh, so that's just not going to get done.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll entertain an ordinance to approve contract with H&H Builders for the replacement of some doors.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Clark.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mr. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Poe?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Another one of my favorite subjects, surge protection. We have a lot of problem with these over the years, and we put them in every so often because they burn out. And so that's what you see in front of you. They have a certain amount of useful life. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Somebody more educated than me could tell me, but I know that we have to do this every few years.
Yeah, it's really been an ongoing project to add these devices to all of our facilities, and this is just, so these are brand new ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Even better.
Yep.
We didn't have them then, but these have really helped because we've lost a lot of equipment over the years because we had them everywhere. So, but we still do need to replace them. So even though we're spending 33,000 now, rest assured that we will probably spend 50 later.
But this is a lot cheaper than replacing the equipment that gets run in the absolutely, it's absolutely.
Way cheaper.
I would mention.
Way cheaper.
That this,
And less impactful to our residents.
no, it's $33,000, but the things that we have to replace are way for the.
Yeah. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion approving an ordinance approving the purchase of surge protection devices.
Second.
Yes. Any other questions? Ms. Clerk, could you call the roll?
Mrs. Jernerbro. Aye. Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Mr. Robinson. Mrs. Fodor.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so, E through I on our agenda, I will say are bracketed. They're all a part of the same discussion. We will need to take individual votes because they're for different things, but we do have the property owner here, and their representatives to take any questions that we have throughout this process, but I'm gonna ask Mr. Khan to walk us through this.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reed. So the agenda items are kind of sequential. So if you don't include, the first item, it doesn't really make sense to include the next item. So if that makes sense. So first is the annexation agreement. As we heard, there was no public comments during the public hearing for the annexation agreement, and the village staff did not receive any written comments either from the public for the annexation agreement. We usually take those in and we'll share that if we get them, but we did not receive any. Pages 1 and 2 of the agenda supplement provide 7 points of the general summary of the annexation agreement. There's a lot of legal language in there, which I will turn to Mr. Stack if there's any legal questions on the legalese. But the first 3 are what I would call gives to the owner, which is rezoning to M3, granting a special use, and the continued use of the residential structure as a commercial office, and the sign on the subject properties. 4 through 7 are takes. Is the best way I could use. They won't be allowed to have any other special use that's not approved by the village board. So if they want to use as a special use, they will have to go through the zoning entitlement process. Property will connect to the village water sewer system within 1 year of it being within 400 feet of the subject properties. They'll provide easement for public utilities to the village and all public utility companies operating in the village, and they pay all applicable fees and contributions of land or cash to the village. Any questions on the annexation agreement portion?
No, not for me. But can you go through the rest of the,
Yeah.
and then we'll take questions all at once because I'm sure that they
Sounds good.
go through everything, please.
So the annexation, the subject properties itself are about 15 acres. So the entire annexation area is just over 15.7 acres because you annex to the far side of the right-of-way or the road, which is US Highway 20 or US Route 20. The plan of annexation was reviewed by the village engineer and recommended approval. If approved, then we'll get the signatures and get that recorded with the county. The next 3 items, the special use, variance and rezoning are under the purview of the Planning and Zoning Commission for recommendation to the village board. There was a public hearing held on all 3 matters on January 26, 2026, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval for all 3 requests of rezoning, special use, and variance by a vote of 5-0. There was no public comments at the Planning and Zoning Commission level either, whether written or in person. The Planning and Zoning Commission did add 3 conditions of approval as recommended by village staff. Those were the special use and variance shall only apply to service construction. So if that business closes down, a new one opens up, they would have to go through the process again for an outdoor storage facility. The second one is operation for 6 consecutive months. The special use and variance become null and void. So if again they stop or restart or a new business comes in, they'll have to go through the zoning entitlement process again. And then the outdoor storage, we're limiting that to the area that they're shown on the site plan or the site map attached to the agenda supplement, so it can't exceed that area. So those are the three recommended conditions of approval for the zoning entitlements. Staff is recommending the village board to consider the request. If you have any questions for staff or myself, or the owner or the owner's attorney, they're here tonight to answer any questions.
Or?
A lot of information, so.
I have a question. In the supplement and the findings of fact, it says that the area around this is all farmland F.
Yeah.
How far down is Oakstead supposed to go? Because I thought Oakstead was gonna go all the way to where Allen Road meets 20, which is just a little bit north of the property. And I'm only asking because M3 is a designation with residential being that close or future plan that close. I just want to make sure I understand where Oakstead ends and where farming would be versus this property.
Let me pull up GIS. That might be the best way to show, and I'll pull up on the TV screen.
That'd be great. Thank you.
But it's a very small portion of Oakstead that's adjacent to this property, but
While Mr. Khan's pulling this up, is the property still going to stay? I think it's like unilock bricks and stuff.
Yeah, nothing changes.
Nothing's changing. It's just, okay.
Same thing.
And is M3 because it's outdoor storage, Mr. Khan?
that would be requested. Outdoor storage is permitted in any of the M district, or by special use in any of the M districts.
So why M3?
I'll turn that over to, that was the request.
That was a long time ago. Because when we were looking through M1, M2, and M3, the one fit best with what they're doing currently, at least in on the special use. But it's limited to us, so it's not like we're getting, or what we're doing right now is limited to us. Anybody else coming that kind of use, and then we have to approve their use of that. Right now, it's used for what we're using.
Well, for anything within M3 plus the special use, would be voted on. You
Right, so.
You own the property, you could build a factory on there if you wanted. It's not saying M3 would only be
We
for its
only allowed
current
to
use,
have.
correct?
No, it would, any permitted use M3 would be permitted by right.
Correct, that's what I'm saying. So any permitted M3 use you would be able to do, and that could be up to, I think M3 is our largest,
Yes.
right? It can be the loudest, the most impactful to local areas.
Correct.
You want to show what's,
Yeah.
you want to put up the map so you can see what's around.
I'm like not trying to think back to our conversation of white properties, but I was trying to remember like M3 I thought was the most.
So this is what, so this property, although I think, is this the subdivision you're talking about? The one that's back
Yeah.
here in the corner?
Yep.
Yeah, and next to that is open space.
It's all drainage, it's detention area.
Right.
We have a berm around the,
You have that little farm to the or to the north of you, but I think that line that cuts across from Allen Road, that's Oakstead, isn't it?
this is, yeah, that's corner.
Yeah, that,
Is Oakstead that way and then,
Right, that's
and
correct.
that's gonna be open space or detection area. It hasn't been fully platted out, so we don't know exactly, but based on the preliminary plats, there won't be residential backing up for this permit.
But we have, but all around is, I mean, it's truck parking and it's kind of a
Restaurant.
rough area.
No, I understood that. My
Yeah.
question was mainly on that northern area because of
Okay.
the future Oakstead development. And who knows, that may not reach down there for 20 years. I mean, we don't know how long. It's just being thoughtful of if there's going to be residential there in the future. I wanted to understand how close if it's M3.
We'll leave this up just in case there's other questions.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
The only concern I have is the request for a variance on the screening. Let's say Oakstead sends up a giant plat to be approved, and now there's gonna be houses right up there. Would you be amenable to later potentially adding screening? Where,
Fence or
at
berm.
that corner, you know, just to,
So the property that we're talking about that we can work in is this piece right here, where
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
the trees way up there.
Yeah.
We don't have the ability to do any of that over here where the homestead would be. That's all open space. So we're limited, our footprint is limited to this side of that tree line. that
The
you're-
developer would plant trees along the property line anyway.
Yeah, and there's a berm along here that we had to construct and it's come this way. So the detention area is quite a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a good point. Yes,
Yeah, we do.
yeah.
But then,
You want to pull down further?
so
I'm
that's,
familiar with the property now. It's mainly just, stacks of different like paver bricks and.
Sure.
we do.
You've been there for 23 years?
Yeah.
Long time.
Two, actually, yeah, 4 years. 4 years.
And the reason why we're here, not back to the county, is that now that subdivision
Hopefully.
touches us, yeah, the county wanted us to come to you. That was their recommendation.
well, I appreciate that. Let's do it. I mean, I'm concerned about the M3 as well. I don't understand the methodology behind the M3. But you've also been here a long time and you've been operating a good business, and we have, to my knowledge, we haven't had any complaints about what you're doing there, and you don't intend on changing it.
Thank you. No, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
And the M3 only stays with current owner?
It stays with the land.
It stays with the land. So if they sell the land, then somebody can move in and be M3.
Yes, but yes,
The special use may not apply,
correct.
but any use of an M3 could apply that's an approved M3 use of that space.
Correct.
If the property were to sell.
Correct.
I just don't understand. Like, can you explain to me the methodology behind the M3?
The only reason we applied for an M3 is I think it was suggested, that, hey, apply for an M3, and I had no idea what an M3 was. I just wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Gotcha. So staff suggested that you go for
When
the
we were going
M3.
through all of the zonings, that was the one that seemed to be most coordinated with what we're doing right now.
Is that true?
I don't recall. The upgrade. I believe that was an ask of the petitioner. But I don't, it's gone this time.
And it's been a long time, because we started last April on this
Yes.
project. So it's been almost a year going through different.
Mr. Khan, you know zoning, you live zoning better than I do. Does M1 with the special uses as outlined in here allow them to continue their business as they would like to continue being the good neighbors that they've been?
Off the top of my head, it would allow them.
It would.
The special use would still be, the special use is
The
granted.
special use is outside storage,
Yeah.
not having to screen
The variance is not having a screen.
variance, but the special use is outside storage,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Special use is outdoor
Right.
storage.
We never really talked about M1. We moved between M2 and M3 back in April. So we never really discussed that M1 as being the least restrictive zoning or whether it met the term. So it's hard for me to go back to you now and say whether M1 or M3.
No, I understand. We're just, so we've been through this respectfully with another piece of property. And it has the ability, it is the least, it's the most unrestricted category of manufacturing M3. And it can be for noise and all of this. And that's why we even did O&M in the other place with a special use and all of that. I just, I don't have an issue with you. I don't. I'm just trying to look into the future 20 years from now. If you're going to be here, maybe you pass it on to your family, then whatever, great. Then you keep doing what you're doing. But on the off chance that you don't, and somebody moves in and then they get carte blanche to put a big manufacturing facility right up against a brand new subdivision.
What is the, I know that we would be zoned R if we just came into the city. But what was this area proposed for in your land use plan, the last land use plan?
Let me check.
I want to believe that it was commercial of some kind.
I believe it was,
I want to say that it was
community commercial is like a red.
Yeah.
I had that stuff in my file back that I hadn't planned on that question tonight, so I apologize.
Leave it to us.
I don't have that information with me, but part of what we went through as we went through this process was what was the land use plan for this area, what's around this area,
Sure.
and what would be the most likely choice to zone it. And you had this at one time being a commercial
No, understood.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with commercial. I don't have a problem with M1 or M2. I'm concerned about it
M2 is fine.
being
We wouldn't have a problem with M2 either, as long as we could do the use that we have. I'm a little concerned about M1 because I know that was struck out early on in the beginning. So if that's more important to you, we understand, and we would do that as long as we get through this. We've been on this process.
Oh, I understand.
Right.
So let's say Mr. Khan and Mr. Stack. Let's say that we all came to an agreement this evening that we could bring it in as M2. What does that change? We can't make that amendment here, can we, tonight? No. That has to go through the planning and zoning and everything all over again. Oh, man.
We drug them on long enough.
Yeah.
Staff recommended it, you go with it.
But M3 could be large scale, heavy manufacturing, high impact, intensive industrial uses. Not that you plan to do that, but we have to plan for the future.
And how many acres is that?
It's 15 acres.
But a lot of it isn't buildable, it's usable.
How much of it is in buildable? How much of your property is buildable?
With the picture back down.
Yeah.
About half.
You're not gonna build a manufacturing because there's not enough space.
Well, that's what I was
A
asking.
parking lot, and there's also your
Majority
floodplain.
of that space to the side of the other side of the tree line is not buildable, not usable for anything other than farmland
Property
or open space. So this is the part we're using and the detention is in, but this really isn't.
That's farmland. Right, but if they sell it, they have to annex it in and we'd have to approve zoning.
No, it's all,
So
like, what part of the property is zoned M3?
Just the whole line, right?
Yeah, well, that and then there's a small parcel attached to it.
Right. So
respectively, my question was about the property to the north. Should
This one right here,
this one it be sold and someone adds that parcel, is that buildable?
To the north?
We don't.
I don't know if I think so. I mean,
Yeah,
farmland.
that's right. That's my concern is that, yes, it's tiny pieces but we know that developers like to, add parcels.
That's what I was saying though, trustee Fodor, if someone were to buy that, they'd still have to come here to annex it in and then pass zoning. So I mean, they could try to, but they'd have to get M3 for that as well.
But none of us will be here in 20 years sitting on this side of the dais.
I will not be. I can tell you that right now.
And, needs to say that they will be as considerate of. That's all.
But we don't have any control of that property to the
I
north.
understand that, but we don't have control over what people do 20 years from now either, but it is our responsibility to think about that and make sure that we don't create a foundation that can be used later for things that may not be us for. That's all.
So I understand what you're saying, but we have to go by character and use in the neighborhood now. And this meets the character and use in the neighborhood now. We have no idea. It could be the person who buys the acres to the north of us could decide to do commercial as well. We don't know that. This is Allen's Corners. It was always kind of a commercial area. I grew up here. And so I think that this is the proper use for this property. And so in the future, if somebody wants to do something else with the property, would have to be with the M3. If they want a special use, they'd have to come back to you. But all right. Happy to answer any other questions.
At the point where we need to vote on this, we can't now.
Take a vote.
And so,
Staff recommended it, take the vote.
does anyone have any questions for either the property owner or legal counsel or staff? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion approving an ordinance annexation agreement for 44W 452 US Route 20.
So moved. Second.
Okay, this is the annexation agreement to annex the property into the village. Are there any other questions? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Cove?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
No.
And Mrs. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Next, we have, an ordinance approving the annexation of 44W 452 US Route 20. I will entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second, questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Coth?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
No.
Mrs. Jernerbro? Aye. And Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Motion passed.
This is approving the rezoning, the map amendment, because when property is brought into the village, it comes in as E1. So now we're going to vote on the zoning from E1 to E3. Entertain a motion approving that.
So moved.
Second, questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
No.
Mrs. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
And Mr. Coth?
Aye.
You 3-2.
Okay, next would be approving the special use permit for outdoor storage at 44W 452, a new property with.
So.
Second.
Questions or comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Mrs. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coth?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Okay, next is ordinance approving a variance for outdoor storage without screening at 44W West 452 US Route 20. Entertaining ordinance approving the variance.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mrs. Jernerbro?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coth?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
I appreciate it. Thank you, staff. Thank you. Welcome to the village. Thanks for everything. You're more than welcome to hang out, but if you want to go celebrate being a member of the village now, you're welcome. Next, we have some old business. We had talked about the winter parking ban last meeting. We were all in attendance. What you see on the agenda before you and in the agenda supplement updates what we talked about. Please review it at this time. If you have any questions, this is again removing the winter parking ban, leaving the snow event or weather event designation in place so we can get the cars off the street if necessary, but allowing parking during the winter time when the weather is being kind to us.
I just have one question on this, and maybe it's for our village attorney as a legal definition. How are we defining an event? What is technically a snow or ice event?
No, any precipitation event.
2 inches or more.
No, it's not. That's what we removed that before.
No, it doesn't say, it says parking prohibited after snowfall or ice event. I'm wondering how we're defining what an event is.
What page are you on?
Sorry, page 4, right after the string.
We define what an event is when it happens, meaning that if we have ice that forms on the road and we need to roll the trucks, then that's what the event is. Any incident that would necessitate staff to roll the truck is an event. If we're going out to do any type of ice or snow control, that's what we would define as an event, and that's called on by our public works supervisor.
Right.
He defines what the event is. That's his job responsibility. That's how we've always defined it in the village. If there's a legal definition for that.
I appreciate that, but I'm asking, since this is an ordinance that is enforced by our police department, what the legal definition of an event is.
I'm not aware of any specific definition of event in the code of ordinances regarding this matter. So it would be up to the discretion of the public works director.
Okay, do we have that in here, that the event is up to the discretion of public works, just so we, here's why I'm asking, and I'm not trying to be a pain about this, but if I read this, I don't know what we mean by snow. Like we had talked in the discussion that if we know something's gonna happen within 24 hours, then we're gonna tell people you need to, or there be an expectation that this parking would be prohibited. Totally get it. If to your point, Public Works decides we need to get out there to salt, sometimes they go out and salt before the event is.
Absolutely.
Right? And so This is saying when there's an event. But to your point, President Reed, and I agree with it, our head of streets should be able to make that call of like, hey, we need to get the trucks out there. But often that's before it ever even happens.
Trustee Kelly, can I interrupt?
Please
If you
do.
look on page 4,
Yeah.
subsection 27A, the 6th line from the bottom, it starts to read, these restrictions will be enforced when when there is a publicly broadcast U.S. Weather Service snow or ice forecast, as the snow and ice has started to fall, B, while the snow, ice, sleet, or freezing rain is falling.
Okay.
So it,
Perfect. That defines it.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to repeal ordinance 24-47 and approving the text amendments to 2-6-1 and 2-7-1 of the municipal code regarding overnight parking.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yes. Before we get to in calling the vote, there is no staff summary of it, and there's a whole lot of things crossed off. Can I have somebody just tell me what are the parameters? Give me the summary. Because I don't want to make the same mistake we made last time.
I think everything that was struck is from what we added last time. So here's the thing. When you guys did it on the fly,
Mm-hmm.
there was never, you guys never came back to see what was done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I have no choice but to repeal what you guys did because there is no written document of what you did.
And I am fine with that.
Oh, I
There's
have
no staff
correct.
summary.
There is not, and all we did was actually go by what was originally put there that you guys approved last board meeting, but I had nothing to go on
Mhm.
of what you guys actually approved last December.
So this now says you can park unless there's an event
Correct,
and then move.
correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct. That's what we approved at the last board meeting.
Day or night.
Correct.
But
I don't care if it's 9 o'clock, if there's the 1, 2, or the midnight, whatever was all taken out, all of that stuff.
Yes, because we
Okay.
have an agenda supplement that summarizes all the changes, and there's a lot of strikeouts and a lot of whereases, and I wanted to make sure that that's actually what it says this time.
It is.
Before, okay, thank you. Here's what I wanted to know.
Yep.
Park, if there's weather.
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. Just making sure,
So no 2 inches, nothing, just any type of weather event.
Yep.
making sure, because.
Yes. If I feel that way.
Question, the trucks often roll before the snow starts salting.
Yep.
Our, what is the time frame then that I need to get my car off the street?
That's what,
Is
Mr.
that-
Khan pointed to, that it says enforced when when it's been announced and the snow and ice has started to fall.
And let's at least be a little bit conscious of the fact is that we just don't go out and write tickets. We knock on doors. I mean, we are kind here, right? So, but there are people, I mean, if it's happening in the middle of the day and people are at work, we are going to, be kind with that kind of stuff. But, when you have the habitual people that don't want to move, you need to have something to be able to help the employees get those streets clean.
And do it safely.
Correct, for everybody.
Right.
Yes.
And it lasts until, as the end of that section says,
Mhm.
the streets have been cleaned.
Correct.
Okay. Can I ask that we use our app to notify people?
Sure.
Okay.
We can put it on the app, we can use social media, like if we know that there's a big snow event, hey, get your cars off the street, we have multiple tools. That doesn't mean that people are gonna read it, but we're gonna try.
But at least
Yeah.
At least we can
be
say we did it.
proactive in our
Right.
communication.
1,000%.
Build a lot.
I love being proactive.
So,
Did you order signs yet?
I haven't done any.
I want that on record.
Not that I'm a little itchy, but I'm telling you, this is like. I'm just saying.
Everybody talking about this.
I'd like that on record that she said she did nothing when we told her to do something.
I did not do anything.
well, because until we.
Because, well, and it's going back to what we already have.
Fair enough.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
I will order signs for the new subdivisions.
How about the existing ones?
I think the signs are well now, because I think the signs have,
Yeah.
they had the signs haven't been.
Oh.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
already have.
Okay, I got that. Great. First and second, now we're ready to vote. Mr. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Should have.
Getting all flustered.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mr. Coe?
Aye.
Mr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Fodor? Aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
We do have one item under old business that's not on the agenda that we have member of the public here to listen to, which is the parking ban on state.
Oh,
And,
awesome.
and so,
I am prepared.
so I'm gonna let you lead the discussion. Because you're prepared.
Well,
I'm bragging about you.
It was something that we came across, we talked about this at the last board meeting. And we were having another complaint on something else that Noel was kind enough to start researching. And lo and behold, there's something on the books with State Street. Which is, I was going to go ahead and after advising you guys of it, did I give you two one?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I hope you remembered what's on here.
I know, but it's actually pretty good. It's I don't even, I sent it to you, right? So the police chief has it. So there is already restrictions on our books about how we park and hours of how long somebody can park. And I just don't think any of us realized it was there.
No.
So here we are.
So when you're ordering signs for snow,
That's what I'm doing. That's why I waited.
Yay.
So there are already stuff on the books that I think is going to be helpful. We will have a hard time, so we will have to sit down. I will have to sit down with the chief and see how we are going to monitor this because obviously we don't have a parking.
Does the budget allow, the police budget allow to hire somebody to go with chalk and monitor downtown?
You can't do that.
I'm available.
Throw that out there. No, I don't think that we can do that with the.
I don't think you can work there.
We're not allowed to do that anymore. The
Yeah.
state law gets mad about that kind of stuff.
So I wanted you guys to have a chance to review this, and obviously we were supposed to talk about it at our next board meeting. So this gives you guys a couple weeks, but is that why you're here? You want to talk about the letter?
I'm just interested in what is the rules.
Well, here,
Because
give her my copy, or you can give her yours.
Yep, so these are all the parking rules from this section down that apply to park to State Street.
it actually goes into a lot more detail, like 30-minute spots.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So something for everybody to, digest for the next couple weeks. And, I have had zero communication with any business owner downtown. Nobody has called after the letter was sent out, just so you're aware.
Yep.
And I don't know if any of you guys got any calls, but that was the purpose of
I've gotten beat up a few times, depending on what establishment you walk into.
May I ask, as now that we know this has been on the books, when the signage goes up or we start to enforce this, we send a letter to the businesses. Can we send another saying, actually, we've looked and we found that there is an existing ordinance?
Yes, I just didn't want to do it prior to this.
Yeah, here is, just so you know, here are the restrictions. We don't want your employees to wonder why they may end up with a ticket.
Correct.
Yeah. And signs will be going up.
Yes.
But they get some time to get used to the new.
All right, great work.
The old rules.
I saw you sit there and didn't want you to come here and go, well, they didn't talk about it.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we have staff reports. There's a building report, engineering report, financial report. The TP on your screen is the illustrious Tim Paulson. He's here, waited on bated breath, bored to death, listening to us all night. But he's here to take any questions about any engineering questions you may have. Ms. Lyons is ready for some financial report questions. And Mo, or staff, as he likes to refer to himself now, is ready for the building report.
I do have a question for Mr. Paulson. Love that we're moving forward on safe routes to school after the 42 years that we've been waiting. So just my only concern is the anticipated construction start of March, April is in the middle of the school year, and that's a main thoroughfare for kids to get to school. is there a way, I never want for pushing back construction, but is there a way to push it till the school is out?
No, it's true. The school's been made aware of the timeline. They haven't pushed back. I mean,
The school may not push back. I'm thinking about the residents that are getting to the
The
school
contractors won't be able to complete it during the
during the construction.
2.5 months of summer.
Okay.
and the amount of time, and the amount of people that have lit this board up and lit staff up, when's this gonna start? When's this gonna start?
No, I totally understand it. I'm just trying to think, and I'll go back to this recording in late April when we get. But I'm just.
Yeah.
Trying to be.
I better not
that
watch
is the
this.
number one thoroughbye for people to get to school from this side of town.
It is.
I don't disagree with you, but if IDOT watches this and says, oh, you guys wanted to push it, now we have to wait 2 years, I'm blaming
No,
you.
no. Do we have a proposed, alternate route that we can share with people?
No, we can work through that.
Okay.
That seems easy.
That's probably, the communication plan probably is.
I mean,
When we actually get confirmation that they're going to start, we will work on a social media campaign and communicate with the schools like we did when we did the Safe Routes to School. And they can put it in their newsletter that, hey, construction is gonna start and we'll move it. So you guys weren't here, but when we did Safe Routes to School, we worked with the Park District, we worked with the library and the local schools. And provided them graphics and like what links of where to go. And so we'll alert, I think that we can handle this by alerting the schools. This way it gets into their newsletter and email that, hey, construction is gonna start on this date. Here's a easier way to get around.
And flood our sign down at the other end.
Yeah, we got a big sign now.
You gotta get another sign?
No, we have a big
Yeah.
sign down for, if you wanna put up another one, we can do that.
We had a couple of years ago, Panama get resurfaced
mhm.
and begin on the first day of school.
Yeah, that was
That was a
cool.
nightmare.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yes.
Yeah. So this, again, yes.
Keep in mind on some of these paving jobs, the asphalt plants runs 35 different types of asphalt. So the day that they can get their mix to do that job, it might be a Monday or a Tuesday. They have no choice.
Great.
No, I totally get it.
I know, I mean, I want you to understand that though.
Yeah.
Wait,
They don't just show up saying, let's get them the first day of school
no.
or something.
No, but I think what Trustee Fodor talked about of let's be proactive in the communication of
Yeah.
how else do you get there for our residents, great.
I think that's our only crutch at this point, because I really don't wanna push this anymore.
Well, the contractor's gonna go to Paulson, and the contractor in Paulson's gonna go to Chief Pan. And they're gonna work out shutting one half of the street off while they do that side and then flip them over or something.
Right.
They'll work out traffic. The concrete guy isn't gonna want kids walking in the cement and then having, cause then he has to rip it out and replace it at his cost.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
So,
yeah.
again, it's just that communication piece
Yeah.
and being proactive, especially because when parents do their morning school runs, it's routine, and so there's not always thought behind it. So if you can get that to them in advance.
It would be great
And
to
it-
partner with
and
the
it's
two
very tightly
schools to get
scheduled.
it into the principal newsletter and get emailed out.
Yeah, when we know what the dates are, we'll work through that.
Yeah, just the more advanced notice we can give people, the less.
Well, let's say that they will be.
That's all. Thank you.
But if they delay this now, it's your point.
No.
No, it's Mr. Kelly's fault.
I didn't say delay it, I said
Maybe. No.
it's the suggestion.
Other questions about any of the reports?
I believe I said it took 42 years to.
Business Development Commission? Or do you want to delay that?
Sure. BDC is meeting next Wednesday here, and we will continue conversations around comprehensive plans and invite anybody who would like to learn more about helping our business community. Next
Mr. Kell, do you think that, sometime before that meeting that you and I could have a conversation?
100%.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go into my, since I have a floor and he's not listening anyway, I'm gonna go into my next committee. And that's on the budget committee.
It's not on the agenda.
Yeah, well, I still have the floor. We will be meeting for the budget committee. This will be we will have 3 on the schedule One is considered if needed, which is the final one. Depends on if we can get through the budgets or not. The first meeting will be February 24th at 6:30 here at Village Hall. While the budget committee is what will constitute a quorum, we will have this as a committee of the whole, and the entire board is welcome to attend.
Please repeat the time on the 24th.
6:30 p.m. on February 24th.
Thank you.
The second meeting right now is scheduled for March 3rd, which is 1 week later, at 6:30 p.m. The final meeting, if needed, is 1 week after that, on March 10th at 6:30 p.m. Just as a reminder to everyone, we will be discussing a budget that runs from May 1st to December 31st.
That's right.
Because the
You're not excited.
the feedback of the full board when it was discussed in a meeting was that moving the budget year was fine. So that is how we're going to go forward to propose it. It does mean for the budget committee, which I appreciate trustee and trustee Polistrini, will mean that we have to go through this process again in the fall. Because then the next budget.
I'm retired, you can go through it every week.
So, but each of these meetings, I will make sure when the invites go out that the entire board is invited, because it is a meeting of the whole, and I will ask Ms. Seehausen, as we have information, preliminary budgets that go out, that the board be BCC'd on those documents. Okay. There, I got my committee without being on the agenda. Thank you, sir.
I don't know how I'm supposed to remain professional with retired Toby. Before we had trustee Coe, now we have retired Toby. I like retired Toby.
I got 2 or 3 of them.
Does anyone else have any other announcements this evening?
Yes, I do.
Oh, great.
I'd like to announce that Miss Lyons' birthday is today, so we should, before we adjourn, sing happy birthday to her.
All right, let's do this.
Well, before we sing happy birthday and celebrate and end, I do have an announcement too. We have one of our BDC members, Ms. Abicola, in the audience. And I would just like to say congratulations on being appointed to the Kane County Board for the remainder of the term, correct? Till the next election?
Just temporary.
Yep. So we have a BDC member that is a Kane County Board member.
And a Village of Hampshire resident.
And a Village of Hampshire resident. So,
Congratulations.
and no offense, but now on to birthday singing.
No problem. Oh, yeah.
Already.
Are you ready? You can't sing without a candle. Hold on, she's not ready yet. She's gotta light things on fire.
Okay. Candle.
While she's lighting things on fire,
I can burn tires.
but before we light things on fire and sing, we do have executive session, so.
I assume.
I asked you. It continues.
We're doing the singing birthday thing, right?
Right.
That was.
We do.
This year's been
Yeah, I saw it, and I was like, and then I saw you were here today. I hadn't planned it, but you were here, and
I
I'm.
can't smell that, they smell delicious, they just smell like the
It
sweets.
just seems like my second meeting.
But we're all gonna sing very loud to her.
Calendar.
Calendar out.
Found it.
Are you using the torch?
All right, here we go. Ready? Yep, lead us on.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lori. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I will entertain a motion to close open session and go into executive session with a little bit of a recess, undetermined amount.
We do have to specify the reason for executive session, which would be personal.
Perfect. Personnel. Thank you, Mr. Beck.
Second.
Comments? Roll call, please.
Congratulations.
Mr. Cole.
Aye.
Did you want to continue yet?
All in favor?
I'm good.
Roll call.
Recycle.
Mr. Robinson.
Aye.
Mrs. Porter.
Hi.
Hi.
There's not much breathing on it either.
Now we're on recess, right?
I don't think.
Nice.
Okay.
Where are we right now?